to my journey. We are headed to the beach. We just drove through. David got him something to eat. I ate a corn dog. And David got him a Egg McMuffin meal. And we just sat in the parking lot and he ate it. So we're all meeting down at Holly's at 7. And we're going to be a little bit early. So we will be there by 7. Holly say, she getting in her car and leaving at 7. So I ain't trying to be late. I told her, I said, I'll give you the address and we'll follow you. She said, okay, well, I hope you can keep up because I got a lead foot. I said, well, that's why I said Dita can't be in the front because he won't think about people behind him. So I said, there are 2 little peas in a pod. Everybody's got the address in case we get split up. But we're excited to be going, ain't we, honey?
Yeah.
Listen, I got this new tripod over here. I don't know if I can switch it over there and show him or not. I'll be learning about it this trip. But anyway, that's where we're headed. It is foggy out here. I don't know if you can hear me, so let me turn this off. I don't know what's coming up next, but we're heading to the beach. Well, we just got here and I want to show you this first. This is a view from our balcony. Let me show you my little, say hey.
Hey.
So that is our pool and there is the ocean. We are in North Myrtle Beach and I will give you a tour of the condo. Okay, you come in and you got a little screened in area. You may or may not see family. Look, there's toys. This is the laundry room and they actually have chairs. We didn't know they had stuff like that here. And then come around and there is this bedroom. There's a half bath and
I just realized there's no light on the ceiling.
well, it's just like my house. I don't know if you want to be in this video. I don't know if RJ wanted to be in the video while I'm showing you the room. It's very pretty decorated. This looks like a little child's room to me. And they got him a pack and play. And here is our kitchen. And yes, there is a Keurig. And here is the living room with everybody in it. And oh, there's an express. And another bathroom. And another bedroom. And this is me and Diddy's room. And it also has a bathroom. So there you have it. That is our little condo tour. Look where we are. We're at the beach. Hey. Are you already finding seashells?
Yes.
Jacob, he's got the finds. Let's see. Oh, he found the bunch.
All the big ones.
Yep. I got to go down there and get in the water too. Come on, Daddy. Let's go walk in the water.
He looks pink.
Oh, look, here's another one. Looky there. Look right here. We need to bring your bucket down here.
Let me know. I'll go get your bucket for your big ones.
Oh, look, there's a big one.
Oh! She looks pink.
Yeah, we definitely need your bucket. Woo! Okay, we are in Little River, Calabash. You can see they have casino boat tours. And we're going down here. We had to come to this overflow parking lot. Did RJ and them get in here? Did RJ get in here already? Oh. I'll show you. So we're going down here to crab catchers.
I want to. This is the only
You can sit outside You can sit inside. You can see people got their boats. We passed the yacht club. Over here, I'm going to show you this big casino boat, which I don't remember being here the last time, but we've not been here in a few years. Look at there. You can go out on the boat and gamble, I suppose. But
Yep.
this is where we're going. This is the most delicious seafood you can get. So here we're coming in. Oh, we can get us crab catcher shirts. Hey, what you doing? So this is, there's the casino boat. There is our, I'm gonna show you our food. I got the scallops. Look how big they are. That's my finger. They're huge. They're delicious. Best scallops you'll ever get. RJ got the seafood platter. Those were some. Well, there's one, a cock fritter. Holly got the crab legs. Oh, look at Nathan. He got the Krabby Burger. It is a hamburger with a crab cake on it. And Holly and Jacob got the Low Country Ball. And Jacob
Is eating low country ball too.
Yep. And David got the fried flounder with some mashed taters and steamed vegetables. We are at the Atlantis breakfast. Right over there is the ocean. I think we might be considered Cherry Grove. I'm not sure. Okay, this is what we're getting. I got a Western omelet, and you see that's the cheese. I had to order cheese separately, and that's it. And half of it's missing because
It's in the middle.
I gave it. Is it in the middle?
Yeah, I think it's in.
Oh, okay. There's some. That's just decoration then. I gave Nathan half of my omelet, and this is North Myrtle Beach. It's not Cherry Grove. He didn't go that far. And then he got some corned beef hash, and Jacob got some pancakes and sausage and bacon, and Holly got pancakes and sausage and bacon and grits and eggs, and RJ got a smiley face peach waffles and bacon and eggs, and Holly got Salisbury steak, sausage, and steak, gravy, and then Wesley, he's just over there doing his thing, and then Diddy got the stuff and the plain oatmeal, plain. So that's what we're eating. Well, hey, it's Monday. We're home. Listen, I didn't really film much this weekend. I just kind of went with it. We just did our thing. I did film the beach when we got there. I filmed a couple of the restaurants we went to, and I just didn't film anymore. I didn't film anything on the way home. And here we are Monday morning. We got home yesterday. Hold on. I was just enjoying my time. I think the last thing I filmed was when we went to, maybe breakfast Saturday morning, and I don't think I filmed anything after that. I don't think I did. We had fun. The weather was cool. It was downright nippy when we were at crab catchers. Listen, let me tell you, we sat out on the outside, and over top they have like canvas flag looking things, just here, there, and the other. Not a roof, but it blocks the sun and I guess some of the rain if you were out there in the rain. But birds, seagulls, and other birds fly up and sit on the poles because they know where the food is, right? So this one table in the corner got up, and a bird, we saw it coming, flew down, jumped on the table and snatched something, looked like a hush puppy maybe. It was something pretty big in that bird's mouth. I tried to grab my picture and video it, and one of the waitresses come over and shoot it away. I was trying to get a video for y'all because it was so funny. And there was a seagull perched up on the one big pole, and I told Jacob, I said, look, I said, on Nemo? Mine. I said, that's what that is. That's a real live bird. That's a real live seagull that goes mine. So he thought that was cool. But he got the, I might have showed him, I don't know. Holly and he'll eat the Low Country Bowl where they have the crab legs and the sausage and all the stuff, and he eats the shrimps and the crab leg. He's a little foodie is what he is. I told y'all before, Holly said there is no chicken nugget kids meal for him anymore. He orders the food he likes. Listen, she sent me a snap yesterday. I guess they had went out for Mother's Day, and wherever they went, they were having sushi because he loves sushi, and he makes sushi with the raw fish in it. This little 4-year-old child. Well, he had his chopsticks. They make chopsticks for children, and he had a big piece of sushi. Well, he was dipping it in his soy sauce, and he was biting off the side. Well, he got finished with one side, and he was still holding it, so there was the other side of the sushi, right? So he turned it over and dipped it, and he was trying to bite it off, and it wouldn't bite off, so he just shoved it in there in his mouth, and he was just like trying to eat that big old piece of sushi. Listen, that kid loves to eat, and he loves to eat good food that he likes. Yes, he does. Listen, let me show you the Golden Griddle Pancake House. I think, hold on. This is where me and David went to eat breakfast before we come home yesterday. It was just right down the road. These restaurant cups are so thick. They drink so good. But they had this at the they had this exact cup on the table. They were all turned upside down, so they had the tables already set, placemats, silverware, coffee cups, turned upside down. Everything was ready for you, right? So I think, I didn't ask her, but they had this and a little paper in it that said you can buy one of these cups for like $7. And so David was paying for breakfast. I'm like, oh, well, I want one of them cups. Obviously, it's got the Pancake House on it, and you know I collect these kind of cups anyway. So I bought it, and she come back with a plain one. I said, oh, I thought it had this on it. And the girl said, oh, well, you can have that one. Well, apparently she just misunderstood me. The other girl did. But I think what they're doing is, maybe at one point they had this that said decaf. I told her, I said, I don't drink decaf. I said, but I do collect cups. And she said, I have a problem with cups too. She said, I have one little cup. She told me who it was. She said, you hardly get anything in it. She said, but it's so cute and I use it, you know. And I think what they do, this is my thinking. Hold on. Oh, I got plenty of sleep. I don't know why I'm yawning. We'll talk about that in a minute. I bet you at some point they didn't have the coffee cups on the table, and you would get a regular coffee cup, but if you ordered decaf, you got this one, so they would know when they come around to give you refills that you had decaf. And I bet somewhere along the line they decided to streamline and just put a coffee cup down and just do it that way. And so now they're selling their cups. That's what I think. So anyway, it was cool down there. It was downright chilly, and it rained a little bit Saturday, not much, not like they were calling for, like 50, 60 some percent, and then it went down to like 20, maybe 12, I don't know. It sprinkled when we went to breakfast, just a couple of sprinkles. And then when we got back to the condo, we were sitting in there, and Holly was holding Wesley. He was asleep, and we were all just hanging around, just chilling out, and I noticed it started raining, not much. But I didn't go back down to the ocean. I was down there Friday. We stayed down there a good chunk of the day Friday. And then Holly took Jacob down there Saturday morning, so in case it rained, he could get out there. Because, listen, that little boy's a fish. He ain't scared of that ocean a bit more than the man in the moon. I was out there with him. We played a little bit. Somebody was always out there with him. And so when I was out there with him, we were playing in the water. And he would keep going out. I said, far enough, come on, because he was making me nervous, you know? He's just a little thing, and every now and then he'd fall. And when he'd fall and get some salt water on his face, he'd come over and wipe his mouth on your clothes. Holly, David, me, it didn't matter if he got it on his face. He never cried, whined about his eyes, nothing. He was jumping waves and falling and laying in the dirt, the sand, and playing and picking up seashells, having the time of his life. Buddy, he was living his best life, let me tell you. And Wesley was out there, and I held him a lot of the times, and he was getting kind of fussy, so I picked him up. He had his little sunglasses, his little hat on. Oh my God, so cute. And I put him to sleep, and so I sat there and held him for a long time. So I think what happened when I did that, you know, I guess camping chairs, the kind that crunch up into like a log and then they fold out and they're canvas. I don't know how else to describe them, because y'all know I don't do good at describing. That's what we were sitting in. I can't sit in those low to the ground beach chairs because I'd never be able to get up. So we just sit in our camping type chairs. Well, the way they sit is you sink down in them, and you're sitting like that, and I had 22 pounds worth of baby in my arm, and it did something to my back. My back was down the rest of the time we were there. It was, oh my gosh. We still did what we did, but the kids had to come home. Both of them left Saturday. We went to eat she said, I really want some wings. So we looked up a place that had wonderful reviews. It was just a little place, but they had one big table that people had put together, I guess, for us to fit at. And so we had wings for supper. And Holly left from there, and then RJ and Holly left shortly, not too long after, maybe about 8 o'clock. And so I took my medicine. I take my medicine at 8. By 8:30, it's kicking in, and I'm falling asleep, right? Well, I went to bed at 8:30, and I was up at 1 o'clock and never went back to bed. My back was screaming. I laid on the couch. I tried to go back to bed. I couldn't. The bed was hard. Oh, the bed was hard. I couldn't get fixed. It was hurting. I couldn't lay on my back because I was laying on my back at one point before I got up. And David woke me up and said I was snoring. I was laying on my back because my back was hurting. Laying on the side was painful. So I was up from 1 o'clock until last night when I went to bed. I went to bed at 7:30 last night because I told David, I said, I'm taking my pills an hour early and I'm going to bed because I am exhausted. So it was about, is that a skater? Or, okay, something's flying, so hold on. You know I don't like the flying objects. I don't care what it is, if it flies, it's a goner. So I went back in there and tried to lay back down. It was about a little after 5, maybe 5:15, 5:20 or something like that. And one of the phones made a noise. I think it was mine, some kind of notification. And I wasn't asleep, obviously. And David got up. He heard it. He thought, I told him, I said, what you doing? He said, was that my phone? I said, I think it might have been mine. I told him, I said, I'm hurting. I said, I can't sleep and I wish I was in my own bed. He said, you want to go home? I said, well, will you be mad because we were going to do stuff? He said, no, if you want to go home, we'll go. I said, okay, let's go home. So 5:30 in the morning at the beach, when I had planned on going thrifting before we left, hit up the different thrift stores that were open, the Goodwills. We got our shower, we packed up, went to eat breakfast, and come on to the house. And I mean, I don't know what to say about it. I told him, I said, I'm sorry I cut your vacation a day short. He said, don't worry about it, honey, don't worry. He said, we had a good time. So we did go, after we eat wings, we did go to the Goodwill. Like I said, I didn't pick up the camera anymore. I just didn't. Breakfast that morning, I'm almost positive, is the last thing you see. So most of what you see is where we ate and what we ate. Because you know when we go out like that, I show you our food. And so after we left, before we went back to the condo, we went to one Goodwill that was on the way there and back. So we stopped in. All I bought was one cookbook. And then when we got back, the intersection of Main Street on Ocean Boulevard there at North Myrtle Beach, they had a little, we was looking for ice cream. They had just a little arcade with, they don't even have pinball machines in arcades anymore. The one where we took Jacob and Sebastian, no, you can't find a good old-fashioned, I was wanting to play some pinball. We went over and looked. No, they got all these new fandangled electronic fancy games that adults don't want to play, at least not us. But we did get some ice cream. So I had a cone of White House cherry. That is some good ice cream. I was looking and looking. I started down at the end and I was reading and reading and reading. And the very last case, I said, oh, I see what I want right there. She goes, you sound like a woman who was looking for what you was looking for. And that's exactly what I was looking for, the White House cherry. It is just like, I don't know if the ice cream's pink, so it's probably either vanilla ice cream with maraschino cherries in it, and the maraschino cherry juice turns it pink, or maybe it's got a little bit of a cherry flavor to it. I can't really tell. I think maybe it does have a cherry flavor to it. But anyway, it's delicious. It's very refreshing and delicious. And David got a pineapple and banana milkshake. I didn't even film there. I didn't film the little place. It was cute. I didn't film it. I didn't film outside where we were sitting outside eating. I just didn't. I was just enjoying myself. And I mean, I apologize. This is probably a boring vacation video, but I was not bored. And even Holly, she was like, I told her, I said, we're not really doing much. This was Saturday. I said, we're not really doing much. She goes, she was enjoying it. Just some downtime, not doing anything. And I think everybody was just chilling out, just just chilling out. And she called it nap trap. She was nap trapped with the baby. They kept him up. He kept them up Friday night for like 2 hours. I didn't hear him. David said he heard him in there just crying and crying and crying. And RJ hadn't slept for like a day and a half because he's on a weird schedule. And Wesley's on his schedule. Holly's on her own schedule. And so I said, well, I woke up and heard him one time. I said, he was talking and carrying on. Said he sounded like he was in a good mood. She said, that must have been when I had him out on the balcony. I said, oh, it must have been. I said, because I didn't hear him cry. I was sleeping hard. Dave said he heard him. And so he slept a good chunk of the day Saturday. I mean, he was doing some hard sleeping. RJ said he's on that schedule. We're up at night and we sleep in the day. I said, you better change that. I said, you better figure that out. Because RJ is a night owl. I said, because when he gets big enough to get into stuff, you're going to have to sleep at night. You all both going to have to figure it out. But he was fussy. And all he wanted to do was sleep. He was just fussy because he was sleepy. You try to feed him. Listen, we went down to the pool Saturday. The pool was cold, and Jacob wouldn't get in the pool because he said it was really cold. But they had a little 3-foot hot tub area. Well, the hot tub part was broke, but he swam in it because since it's more shallow, the heat could heat it up a little bit more than that big deep pool, right? Well, he was out there. He played in it Friday because he was, oh my gosh, he was in the ocean. He come up there. He was so cold. He was literally shaking. His body was shaking. So Holly said, I'm going to take him up here and put him in the hot tub. Well, that's when she found out the hot tub part wasn't working, but she just let him play in the water. So we did the same thing Saturday. And we were sitting there. Me and David was down there, and Holly, we were on our lounge chairs, and Jacob was in the pool. Or he had got out of the pool by then, just doing something, and the baby was down there with us because RJ and Holly were taking a nap. And this girl comes over. She said, can I see your green pool bracelets? And we're like, well, we don't have pool bracelets. We have this pool tag thing. And Holly showed her. She goes, oh, well, those are outdated. You're supposed to have bracelets. I said, well, we don't have bracelets. I said, there was none in there. She said, well, where are you staying? We were like, right here in this building, room 318. She goes, well, you're really not supposed to be down here without your bracelets. I'm like, we don't have bracelets. She said, well, can you contact who you rented from? So I emailed the woman, and she emailed me right back. She said, tell her that those tags are outdated and you're supposed to have bracelets. And she said, I'll just let it slide this time, you know. I told David afterwards, I said, if she'd have made us leave, you would have seen somebody show out. I would have showed out. Messing up my baby's time. So I emailed the girl, and she emailed me back. She said, they should have been laying right there on the counter when you went in. I said, no, there was not none. She said, well, I had to let the cleaning crew know something they didn't do. They didn't leave them out. Something happened to them because she said they should have been out there. And so while the woman was standing there, the girl, she was a young girl, standing talking to us, Jacob got back into that hot tub. No, you can't be in there. I'm like, just because the hot tub part don't work, he can't be in the water? That makes zero sense. So he went over to the baby pool. Nathan had come down by then, and he went over to the little 1-foot baby pool and played over there until we all got hungry and went upstairs. And we didn't eat lunch anywhere. We just ate breakfast and supper. We took our lunch on the beach. We ate our lunch on the beach Friday, and then we took enough stuff for sandwiches for Saturday, and that's what we eat Saturday. I didn't eat. I give Nathan my sandwich stuff because I had already snacked on a bag of potato chips, and I wasn't hungry. So I told him, I said, eat my sandwich, and I didn't eat a so-called lunch on Saturday. I just grazed this, that, and the other. I didn't eat a lot on vacation like I used to before surgery. I would have gorged. I'd have been like, it is vacation, honey. I'm going to throw down. Well, I can't throw down anymore. My scallops that I showed you, I had to eat on them 3 times before I could even get them finished. 3 times. And there was about, I don't know how many scallops was on that plate, but they were like that big. I don't know if you can see on the video the size. I did put my hand there, so I don't know if they're humongous, but the best scallops you'll ever eat. The best. Oh my gosh. They were so good. But last night me and David come home, and we just laid around. We didn't unpack. Well, he did. He unpacked his suitcase. I didn't unpack a thing. I come in, made me a cup of coffee, and I sat down because my back was screaming from the night before and screaming from the car ride. So we didn't eat nothing on the way home after breakfast. And then when we come home, we were in here, and he ate, for lunch, he ate his leftover wings because he got wings to eat for later in the night. Well, the wings were so big the night Saturday, because we ate kind of early, and whatever time he goes to bed, he's hungry between 5 o'clock and bedtime. He's hungry again. So he got him some extra ones to bring home. Well, it turns out I ordered honey barbecue and I couldn't eat them. They were too hot. The barbecue part was just too spicy and I couldn't eat them. So I gave him mine, and he gave me his garlic parmesan, which I ate one or two of those. And then he brought the rest of his wings home, and I brought my fried pickles home and 2 wings. Well, in the middle of the night, when I was hurting and up, I was starving, and we had no food because we didn't take food to cook. We just took snacks and sandwich stuff, and just enough sandwich stuff for one more sandwich, you know? So I was digging for anything that I could eat. I ate my leftover fried pickles. I ate, 2 packs of Jacob's Scooby Snacks gummies. No, 1 pack of that, and a Scooby Snack graham cracker bone. By breakfast time, I was starving to death. Still couldn't eat much. I ate half an omelet and half a pancake, and that's what I had for breakfast. So then he ate, Sunday for lunch, he ate the rest of his wings that he had took home, because we brought them home with us, obviously. And then for supper last night, I told him, I said, I don't know what I want, but I don't want nothing heavy. I still wasn't super hungry. Even though we had to eat breakfast, I still wasn't super hungry. So we had McDonald's, because you know they put this McDonald's right down the road. It takes you 3 minutes to get there. So we had Big Macs and French fries, and I didn't eat my French fries, and I ate half a Big Mac, and then later on I went back and ate the other half. So that's what I had last night. I didn't eat my French fries because I couldn't hold them. I told him, I said, I'm just going to start. And we tried their new, what they got, these refresher drinks or whatever. It's the strawberry watermelon. Ugh, don't bother. Do not bother. Like David said, he even tried it, and he don't normally try stuff like that. He said, well, I'm going to try that. That sounds pretty good. Well, neither one of us could drink it. It's nice. It's got real pieces of strawberries in it. If it was just strawberry, it would have been delicious. But the watermelon added to it, like David said, he said, that's just too much going on for me. I said, yeah, me too. I couldn't even drink it. Oh, I'm itching out here. So we didn't drink that, so I didn't drink my drink. And I didn't eat my French fries. I told him, I said, from now on, I'm just going to order whatever sandwich I want, not a combo and not a drink. I can drink something at home, which I don't typically drink while I'm eating. I do wash it down, but I don't drink a whole drink. So really a whole drink is wasted on me, except I keep it set over here and sip on it throughout the day. We did stop, and I did get me a tea. I was thirsty coming down the road, so we got the Laurenburg, I think it was, before we found anything, because boy, going to the beach from here to there, they take you through the boonies. You're either on a stretch of highway where there is nothing, it's like a boony stretch of the interstate that we were on, or a boony stretch of the backwoods. And we finally got to Laurenburg, and there was a interstate off of the country road. There was a interstate, and it had all kind of places. I said, stop at McDonald's, I like their tea, and I get half and half. And that's what Jacob, when we were at the wing place, he was sitting across from me, and I had got my tea. And when Holly ordered, she brought their cups back. I said, what you want to drink? I'll go get it. He said, I want half and half like you. I didn't have to tell him I had half and half tea. He knows that's what I drink. When I get tea, I get half and half. So that's what he gets. If we ever order tea, he must have it the way I have it. Listen, he rode with us down there. I don't know if I told you that. When we got to their house, he said he was riding with us. So he rode with us down there. And when we stopped, I put a picture on my Facebook group of my chicken livers. We had stopped. We saw a place, somebody had to go to the bathroom. And so the very next place we found was just this little long gas station off on the side of the road on this boony highway. And I want you to know, we went in, as soon as we went in, we smelled it. I'm like, They got fried chicken in here. A little hole in the wall with one of the cleanest bathrooms you've ever seen. Like a 3-stall clean bathroom in this little bitty hole in the wall of a gas station. The old man sitting on the front talking on the bench. How you doing when you come in the door, everybody? How you doing? And I told David, I said, you smell that? That's fried chicken. Well, we was hungry, wanting a little snack. I can't even remember what town this was in. And because we left early, so we ate breakfast before we left. We was getting a little peckish. And I went over there. I was going to get me a chicken leg or two, right? Well, I looked. I said, is that chicken livers? The man said, she just put them out. I said, well, that's what I want. I want chicken livers. And he just grinned. I said, you got mustard? He said, honey mustard? I said, no, regular mustard. He said, I sure do. So David got him a couple of chicken wings and some tater wedges. And I got me some chicken livers and some mustard. And Jacob, I told him to get whatever he wanted. He'd get whatever snack he wanted. And he found 2 bags of candy. Like bags of 2 different kind of gummies. And he said, well, you got to... He got them, and Holly come over there to me. She said, well, you got to go ask Momo, can you have them both? I said, does he want both? Yes. Yeah, well, he can have both. She says, well, I know that's what she's going to say, but I told him he had to ask. I said, you know that boy's going to get what he wants, whatever he wants. I went over there, Papa was paying for the food. I said, put them up there. He slapped them up on the counter. Papa just kept paying. You know what I was saying? That's what he wants. That's what he's going to get. Mama, Papa want to make sure of it. We were sitting there eating wings. And sometimes Jacob gets shy. We can't understand why he gets shy around us. He shouldn't, as much as he's been around us, but he'll get these little shy moments. Well, I heard what he said, and he was telling Nathan, he said, you asked. Nathan says, no, you. And I had already heard what he said, so I know what he was wanting. I said, go ahead and say it, honey. It's okay. He said, no, you have to. He's talking to his daddy. And so Nathan said, you want one of Papa's wings? And Jacob says, well, you tell him. And Papa wasn't listening. I said, Papa, I said, he wants one of your wings. Because I told him, I said, you can have one of mine. I had already told him before. I said, but it's a little spicy for me. He said, well, he would taste it. So I held it up and he licked a little bit of the sauce. And he goes, well, maybe just a little bit. And so he decided he wanted one of Papa's because it was garlic parmesan. Because the boy loves wings. And so I told Papa, I said, he wants one of your wings. Papa said, which one you want? And he gave it to him. And Papa went over there and he stuck his hand over and he said, listen to me. He said, don't you never worry about asking me what you want. He said, you have whatever you want. I said, honey, you ought to know Papa will give the shirt off his back for you. Little shy thing. So he ate chicken wings and french fries and macaroni and cheese because Holly said even though he eats all the stuff he eats, he will never turn down french fries and mac and cheese wherever they are. He will always have that plus whatever else might have, you know. We had a real good time. And I did just get unpacked in there a while ago. Got everything put away. I told David, I said, it sure is easier to pack from a weekend than it is a week, ain't it? He said, yeah, what you talking about? But you can't see it. Well, you can see right there. I'm covered. I'm covered. Covered. It ain't going nowhere. Like right here on my wrist, it's getting lighter, but it's all scabby. Not scabby. Scaly, white, skinny. My legs, my belly. I got a big old patch on my belly, in my belly button, on my head, everywhere. And I know I was getting stares. It was one woman, especially at crab catchers. I got to go get a to-go box for Holly. She couldn't eat all her crab legs, RJ's Holly. And the waitress wasn't coming around very often. So I just went over there to get one. And when I stood up, the woman was just looking at me. And I thought, well, first of all, honey, you can look. But I don't know if she was looking because I got saggy skin and tattoos, or was she looking at all this crap on my body and thinking, oh, she's a leper. She's going to infect us all. That's kind of how I feel out in public. You know I don't get embarrassed at how I look, because how I look is how I look. But I do feel like people are looking at me, okay, what do you have all over your body, and are you contagious? That's how I feel I get looked at. So that's not very pleasant. And it's itching. So I've been putting cream on it. But I go back, it's June the 1st for when I'll find out if it is in fact psoriasis. And I looked up pictures, and a lot of psoriasis is like big patches, like on your elbows and the back of your arms, stuff like that. But I looked up, and there are patches, there are forms of psoriasis that look like mine, just spots everywhere. And a lot of the spots are either growing together or getting more spots right beside them and getting bigger patches. So, but I do feel like people look at me like, ooh, you know. So, like I said, that's not pleasant. But I'm trying to think. Listen, we can't figure out the parking for this place. There's 4 buildings, I think. The way they sit, 3 stories, and there's a pool in between, and a courtyard, and there's a path down to the beach. And at least on our side, I imagine the other ones have their own path, you know. And well, they do, because I saw that one on the other side. Each building has their own path. And you park underneath, and there's just a handful of parking spaces outside. Except for on one of the other side, there's a bunch of more parking places. So we're like, you can park underneath, and it's a 2-car area, so you can fit 2 cars. But if you're only 1 car in your condo, then there's an extra space that you can't be used because you can't block somebody in. So we were able to park 2 people under the building because we were together, and then the other one, because it was off season, was able to find a parking place outside. Well, we're like, what happens when this is peak season and the place is booked out? Where do these people park? Do they have to park down the road at the other buildings and walk? And even then, it didn't look like enough parking, because these are big condos. Like this condo sleeps, I think it said 8. Did they say 8? I guess. And for us, we had 3 cars. So let's say you have 2 to 3 cars per condo. I don't know. We can't figure out where in the, oh, and see, I got it on my head too. We can't figure out where all that parking's going to take place. So we're like, if we ever rent there again, which I would definitely rent that place again. I did show you around. Oh my gosh, it was spotless. It had all the creature comforts. The only thing we needed to take was our toiletries, and if we wanted any food, take that. But they had all the creature comforts: laundry detergent, dishwasher detergent, paper plates if you want paper plates, all dishes, pots and pans, linens, towels. They had a pack and play for the baby. That was one of the big selling points on that, was a pack and play for the baby. And 3 bedrooms. It was a very nice, spotless. Oh my gosh, it was more spotless than any motel room I've ever been in. I'm here to tell you, it was very nice. We said we would definitely stay there again. So we got it through Airbnb, and the girl who rented it to us, I was emailing her back and forth because of the pool incident. So we were just talking back and forth, you know. And they sent me a thing to review, so I left a glowing review. And then it said you could send her a message that would just go to her and not be seen by the review place. And so I told her, you know, blah, blah, blah. And she messaged me back. She said, if you ever want to come back to the North Myrtle Beach area, she said, contact me directly. She said, I will save you the booking fees and something else that you have to pay Airbnb. So what we paid, we would have probably saved about $400 off of what we paid. And we didn't think what we paid was that bad. So I said, yeah. I said, if we decide to go back, I said, I saved her email in contacts to remember her to book directly if we need to. We were talking about if we went on another family trip, like in October, to a mountain cabin. Now that would be nice. A nice weekend in a mountain cabin. So who knows? Who knows? But we said, even RJ, he's like, we need to do this more often, not just at family dinners. I said, yeah, we really do. But you know, everybody's got their own life. Everybody's gone this direction and that direction. And it's kind of hard to get 3 separate households to come together at one particular time. So, but it worked out. So I'm trying to think. You're hearing more talking about what we did than seeing what we did. And I apologize if you have been bored up to this point, but I just enjoyed my vacation. So we're home now. back to the regularly scheduled program. And I guess, let's see, I ain't gonna put this up today. This is Monday. I ain't putting it up today. You'll probably be seeing this on Tuesday. So after that, I guess the next thing you'll see will be, because tomorrow will be thrifting day. I'll be doing thrifting, you know. Like I said, regular scheduled program. So I guess the next thing you'll see after this will be my chat and haul on Thursday. So I'll see you then.